It has been an enormous privilege to have played for and captained my country, and this is one of the hard decisions I've had to make. As a Bawat, I still can't believe it has been 18 years since I played my first international match for Zimbabwe, scoring 119 against the West Indies in Harare, and in the process becoming the youngest player in the world at the age of 17 and 354 days to make a century on Test debut. Throughout my international career, that has seen me playing 38 tests, 209 one-day internationals, and 62 T20s. It has always been about giving everything to the team, playing with dignity, and upholding the spirit of the game. It has not been an easy road. I failed it at times, but I've never stopped trying. That's what makes it sad for me to leave, but I can do so with pride and a big smile on my face, knowing I've given everything to the game and my nation. I was looking forward to the ICC T20 World Cup qualifier in Dubai next month, but the Zimbabwe barred from taking part in the event. I feel the time is right to focus. I feel the time is right for the focus to shift to the next generation. With some fantastic talent coming through, and with Zimbabwe's focus now on the 2023 edition of the ICC Cricket World Cup, I believe now is the time for the younger players to rise to the challenge of taking us to the global showpiece. Indeed, now is the time for a new generation of young players to make their own history and take Zimbabwe cricket team further. As I look back, as one does at such a time, I have many people to thank for supporting me, teaching me, and believing in me. My junior coaches from the primary school days in Highfields and the Takashika Cricket Club taught me the basics and inculcated in me a powerful love for the game, which has always stayed with me. My coaches at the provincial and international levels added to my craft and helped shape my personality. They pushed me and challenged me to keep getting better. The trainers worked hard to keep me fit, not an easy job, and allowed me to play late into my 30s. In fact, all the support staff have been incredible throughout my career. I'll mention all of my trainers, Kuda sitting in the back there. The Zimbabwe Cricket Board had confidence in me and entrusted me with the captaincy, and I'm grateful for that privilege. I must also express my gratitude to ZC for providing me a platform and the facilities to play the game. The media has been kind to me, highlighting my achievements and always challenging me to aim high and keep going. Thank you. But most of all, I have to thank the teams I played with. I know what I'm going to miss the most is being part of a change room. The joy of bonding together and striving to achieve a goal is what made cricket special for me. I learned a lot from my teammates, and I leave the game with wonderful memories and strong friendships. A career in sport is almost impossible to manage without the support, guidance, and reassurance of family and friends. During tough times, and there have been many, my wife Mbai has been a remarkable pillar of strength as she created around me a positive environment which was essential to my success. I also found strength and encouragement from my parents and brothers. Finally, I would like to thank the Zimbabwe cricket fan. The game is lucky to have you, and I've been lucky to play before you. To represent Zimbabwe and thus to represent you has been a privilege and one which I will always cherish. Let me sign off by wishing my successor and the Zimbabwe team success in the future. Thank you. And the one thing that was really keeping me going was at least trying to play in one more World Cup for the country, which would have been the T20s. But now that we're not really involved in that, I just thought, yeah, might as well call the time now. Make way for the next guy coming through, because I think really with the focus now being blooding guys and having guys starting to prepare to qualify for that World Cup, I feel I'll just be standing in the way of someone else if I stay at home now. So for me, it's not really the recent events that took thing, but the fact that we're no longer in the T20 World Cup and there's really not too much left for me to play for really. The one thing that stands out is I didn't really get to play in as many World Cups as I would have wanted to. I missed out on 2 50-over World Cups, and yeah, that really got to me a little bit. But yeah, it was just setbacks, and I managed to come back from those, and I still came back and played and represented the country, which was good. But yeah, I think that's the only one thing that I look back, and I think I would have wanted to definitely do a little bit more, because I only got 1 50-over World Cup. I would have wanted to have a few more. Well, I just hope I've left a legacy of guys realizing that there's no substitute for hard work, and the only way that we go forward is as one, and as one unit. And if we can gel together, I think the times have played our best. we've been really one, and we've been really one strong cohesive unit. So I hope that's what I leave for the guys. Just the importance of being one, and the importance of putting the work in and enjoying each other's success. I'll say guys shouldn't really limit themselves too much. So it's not about just focusing on one line of work or focusing on one career. That's the reason why I went to university to study, because I always knew at some stage I might want to come out of cricket. So I wanted to have that background. So I would advise the younger guys to do that as well. And I'd also advise if they still want to play, go to university that does have cricket. Because I thought, even in the time that I was at university, I actually learned quite a lot with my cricket as well, because I kept playing and I played against some very strong opposition as well. So I don't really think I missed out too much. Obviously, it's not the same playing at that level and playing international cricket, but I still thought I learned quite a bit in that period, and I actually managed to come back and use some of that in my career. So I would say the biggest thing is don't really limit yourself. You always have a lot more time on your hands than you think. So you can still pursue an education and still play professional sport. Former player would probably have to be Andy Farr, because I mentioned earlier that he came and played with us. He came and played with us at Takashinga, and just being on the same field with him and just learning from his experience and picking up from what he used to do was really a big part of our learning the game and our progressing. And I think from the current players, probably someone who sort of stands out for me would be Elton. I've played quite a lot with him, even from having watched him growing up as a youngster. And then because he played in our under-19 team when he was still just 15, and having been captained by him as well, I think he's always been one of the more positive guys, and one of the guys who's always really believed in the team and who's always really believed in the boys. So I think just being around that positivity and just the sheer talent that has been as well has really been very good for me as well. Our setup is a lot stronger, and even our domestic structure and even our management has been a lot better and a lot stronger than what was happening in Kenya. Because you mentioned where Kenya was, they were definitely a powerhouse at one stage, but I felt the biggest thing that they didn't do right was that they didn't look after the guys coming through, so they just concentrated on the main guys out of there. So by the time those guys left, they didn't really have too many players to replace them, which is where I think the road sort of started. But with us, I think we've got a really strong group of young cricketers coming through, and we've got a lot of guys waiting to replace the current crop. So I think from that perspective, we're definitely looking a lot stronger than Kenya, and even in our structures and in our domestic structures and everything, I think ours have been run a lot better, and have looked a lot stronger than what the guys have in Kenya.